Ladies and gentlemen, today is Tuesday, January the 15th, 2019. It is now 5:30 p.m., and I now call the San Juan Economic Development Corporation meeting to order. First item on the agenda is our roll call. I'll start with my right.
Yes, Ben Arjona, City Manager.
Jesse Zambrano, Attorney.
Martha Patterson.
Rene Villarreal, EDC Director.
Cynthia Gutierrez, Secretary of the Board.
Tony Sanchez, Vice President.
Arturo Guajardo Jr., President.
Mario Garza, Assistant Secretary.
Rael Garza, Treasurer.
Pedro Contreras, Board Member.
Next item on the agenda is public comments. Do we have anybody registered for public comments today? Ms. Martha? No? No one registered for public comments, and we'll move on to our number 4th item, Executive Director's Administrative Report. Mr. Villarreal.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Happy New Year to everyone. This was our first meeting in the new year, and I went ahead and we're going to make this a habit now of providing the latest financial reports. We kind of got away from that, so I'm going to be providing all the financial reports in our packet, as well as the tax allocation summary. One of the board members suggested that we go ahead and reduce it down to the amount that we're getting to the EDC so we can see on a monthly basis how much revenue from taxes are coming in. So we'll go ahead and make that adjustment for the next meeting. We also had a very successful show in Fort Worth at the ICSC Red River Convention. I went ahead and made copies of about 20 or so business cards there, and these aren't just it wasn't just going and seeing who I could see there. These are all developers that are interested. These are all developers that are interested in the Rio Grande Valley and have requested specifically information about properties in San Juan. So it was very productive. I'm going to be shooting out a lot of emails here in the near future. Some of these have follow-up meetings, which I'll be meeting with in the near future as well. So overall, I would say it was a very productive show that we had. One other small update I'd like to mention is our website is right now is under construction. We had to transfer it. It's a bunch of IT stuff, but our old domain was held by our old company that was working on our website, and that got finally turned over to our new IT company who's handling our website, and so they had to refresh the website. So it's it's not fully there, but the great part is that we have our agendas up from 2017, 2018, and now 2019. So now, it goes without question, we'll be posting our agendas regularly on our website. So it's sanjuanedc.com. sanjuanedc.com. We'll also be posting the videos of these meetings as well, so you can see the agenda and the videos there with a link to the video. So it's a good system. No, we're just posting them here at the public library and at the city hall. And as far as I knew, if you don't have a website, you don't need to post on the EDC website, but since now it's we have it running, now we will. But so I guess we were kind of excluded there for a little while, but we want to be transparent and all that, so we'll be posting them on there from now on. So just wanted to make the board aware of that in case you visited the website and you see that it's not fully functional yet. We're going to be getting with see if IT has any nice drone shots, and we're going to be putting all the pictures from our ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings in there. And we're going to be doing it in-house for now. I think we have the talent on our staff to be able to go ahead and manage it in-house at this point. It seems well within reach to have a nice website. And it's a progress in motion, so it's going to just keep getting better and better and better over time.
Mr. President, I have a question. Excuse me for my ignorance. So you're telling me we've not had a website? I haven't checked myself, so that's why I'm asking.
We did.
Not had one.
We did up until I think it was about November when the switch took place, and then our website was down for about 2 weeks, and then it came up, and it was a long process because we lost all our old files, so we had to rescan our agendas, make PDFs, create the links, upload those up into the website, manage the pages, the menus, and so that is finally up and running. So we were without a web page for about a month and a half, I would say.
Say this past November, there was a switch, and what are you referring to? Because you looked at Mr. Arjona, so the city had, the EDC was on the city's website at one time, or?
No, I was looking at Martha.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because, see if she could refresh my memory. I think it was around November, late November, that switch took place with our website. So we've been kind of down for a while now, but it will be up and running. I just wanted to make the board aware of that in case anyone had.
Working on the website, was it the city IT or was it
No, it was MPC Studios out of Harlingen, and we were basically, they provided the framework, and we would post, prior we would post all the agendas, and they were all there.
how long have we had this company?
Now it's us. Well, we have an IT company, and they provided their framework, and we're managing it in-house. We've been with them, with GeoIS for 2 years now.
I'm
Yes, and-
assuming they had a contract with us, or we had a signed contract with them for 2 years, year by year? Now, and the reason why I have these questions is because I recall a citizen at one time sitting there asking for information on the EDC, and he was unable to reach it through the city website. So I'm thinking, we've never had a link from the city website into an EDC site?
No, but when that issue was raised, I put in the work order, and in talking with the city's IT, they didn't want to link it, and I understand, they didn't want to have the link on their website if our website was down, so, or there was just filler on there. So when we get our website up, the work order is still in for them to go ahead and link it. So it will be linked. We could probably already link it at this point, because we've got our agendas on there.
November, you decided, let's not continue with the previous company and move into with another company? That's the switch you're referring to?
Yes, but it wasn't my choice. What happened is that took place a while back, but they still held on to our domain and our hosting, and so the process had to take place where we got rid of them and came on our own, and so that process has now taken place. No, we actually we owned it. They just switched the ownership.
Okay, at this point, would it be possible to make sure we join, there's a way to reach us through the city? Or is it still not possible?
It's possible. It's possible. I would like that our website gets fully optimized, fully done, built out, everything good. But they could do it now. I guess it's up to them. It would not be a problem. No,
I'm
sir.
requesting that to occur, please.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
If I may just add, the website is mainly more like working on a daily basis. So at any point in time, we can link it. It's not going to say that it's working and that it's work in progress or anything like that. We can link it as even by tomorrow. And if there's any information that is needed, right? Yeah. So there shouldn't be a problem.
Yes. I'll put in the work order tomorrow morning.
Our agendas on there.
Yes.
Are you also thinking of putting our minutes, our old minutes on there? I
We-
would recommend to look into that. The more minutes can be out there for the public to access, the better.
We can definitely do that. That's no problem.
For the record, Commissioner Ernesto Guajardo is now present with us. Welcome, Mr. Guajardo. Next item on the agenda, number 5, we've got a presentation from Laura Rodriguez, Project Specialist, on El Día de los Muertos.
Yes, Mr. President, Laura had a family emergency that she wasn't able to make it at this time. She may be coming in a little later this evening. What Laura was gonna speak over was our events, particularly wanting to get together a meeting with our EDC and our commissioners to kind of get the Basilica and the city on the same page as far as events and as far as the calendars are concerned, and making sure that we're working with them. And so she had a date of, I'll send it to you. I don't want to say the wrong date. I think it was next Thursday. If she was going to ask you all if you could check your calendar to see if that would be available. And also, we went ahead and put in your packet. We've got a lot of events coming up here. Tomorrow at 11, we've got our groundbreaking for our brand new Rio Grande Regional Hospital standalone ER facility. And that will be at 11 o'clock to about 12:30. I talked to him today. She said that because of the weather, they're going to try to run it through pretty quick there. Mayor Mario Garza and Arturo Guajardo Jr. have been invited to speak at that. She said that because of the time that you're not going to need to speak, Mr. Guajardo. Right, and I did mention it to her. We've also got. No, it is. You're gonna. The speaking is at 11:30, but
Oh, okay.
they're gonna start taking in people at 11.
Oh, okay.
Right. And tomorrow we've also got a swearing-in ceremony for our new municipal judge, Mr. Jorge Zamora. You don't have that one in here, but Zambrano. I'm sorry. Who did I say? Zambrano. I'm sorry. You know who that is, right? There's the one for tomorrow. On Friday, we've got another ribbon cutting that will be taking place at Pronto Insurance, and we'll go ahead and send you reminders about that one through text. But that one should be it's a good business coming into San Juan. We've also been invited by this RGV partnership to a legislative tour of the Rio Grande Valley on the January 27th through the 24th through the 27th by Mr. Sergio Contreras, and RGV Day at the Capitol on Tuesday, February 5th. And I'll go ahead and send these in email. So these are some business, some municipal, and some legislative events coming up here, and we'll make sure that everyone is invited.
President, I got a question. I don't know if the city was involved in this or not, but over the radio I heard, I believe, an event that occurred at Amigos del Valle, welcome to San Juan, or come live in San Juan, with some, I don't know if it was affordable homes or somebody was inviting people to come live in San Juan. Does anybody have an update on that, whether it's a city or
It's,
Mr. Villarreal?
Yeah, good.
I'm not aware of it. It's probably a private entity who was doing that.
It was through affordable. They came over and they rented out the Amigos del Valle, and it was actually for that purpose, building homes here in San Juan. And they were here a couple of days, but it's a private company, it's Affordable Homes, and I forget the name of the company. And it was mainly for that, to promote their homes, what they can build here in San Juan. If there was anything type of assistance, if somebody needed any type of assistance for building a new home, they were there available for that purpose.
And were they concentrating on the corner of Stewart and Ridge Road or other neighborhoods? Because that's where they have their, right, affordable homes?
They were concentrating on those areas, but I'm assuming that that's the property they have available. But it was pretty much on all San Juan.
So not just their property, just across the board if they
across the
need
board.
some assistance in purchasing homes. Okay. Thank you.
And Mr. Contreras, some of those events we would like to take by the horn and do some of those things to promote San Juan as well. Maybe at some point, I don't know how we would go about it, having some sort of meeting, or maybe we put it on the agenda to talk about some sort of events and how we want to go about promoting not only our residential, because that's important too, but more of our commercial properties, and maybe holding some sort of event similar to that one, but hosted by the EDC. I think it'd be a good idea for us to start promoting it there.
Item on the agenda was a presentation by Ms. Laura Rodriguez. I think
Yes.
we deviated from that. So
Yeah,
can we
I'm done.
continue on to,
Yes.
can we move on to our next item on the agenda? That's number 6, our consent agenda. Do we have a consent agenda? It says none. None submitted. Then we'll move on to our action items. First item is 7A, discussion, consideration, and possible action, if any, to approve the independent audit engagement letter from Garcia and Peña CPAs.
Yes, Garcia Peña are the city's auditors, and they've just sent us a letter of engagement. We wanted to bring it to the board here for the approval to go ahead and begin the process of our audit for our 2017-2018 fiscal year. And so that's all this is, essentially.
The only comment I would have on that is it the same auditing company that did the last year's audit? And how about the prior years? Perhaps?
President, if I may,
Yes.
didn't we have concerns with this?
Well, it's a good practice to change it every 2 or 3 years, you know, and just choose a different company, because rather than it just becoming a little checklist and submitting the same thing, okay. Just something to think about in the
But
future.
we do it every 2 years.
Okay.
Have time to entertain other other,
I'm not sure what the time restraints are. I'm not saying that we don't go with this firm. I'm just putting it out there that it's a good idea to change it every so often.
I remember some concerns, especially how it was presented, how, if I'm not mistaken, the presentation started in the center of the booklet and kind of at least lost me back and forth, but I want to remember some discussion in reference to us exploring other options. Do we still have time for that?
Is there still time to entertain another?
I'm not sure what the timing thing is, and I'm thinking that because we're working with the city, that's the reason why this particular firm is being recommended. Time, I mean, we can call a meeting, you know, the next couple of weeks if you all want to entertain other CPA firms.
I would like that. I don't know anybody else. How you all feel?
It'll be independent. I mean, it doesn't have to be the same CPA firm, it can be another one. If they're asking for files from the city that pertain to the EDC, we're always there to, you know, accommodate.
Might even serve as a check and balance, 2 different companies.
Practice, you know, to change it every so often, especially when we've got new board as well. But it's up to the board to decide what they want to do. But at this point in time, we're just accepting this letter of engagement.
That's what's on the agenda, so we
not
can either.
accept it, and that will open the door for, to look at other options.
Not accept.
I've got a motion to not accept. I got a second? I do have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So I guess then let's look at additional, not that that's going to exclude this company.
Okay.
Just open it up. Our next item on the agenda is B, discussion, consideration, and possible action, if any, authorizing San Juan EDC to transfer donations for Noche de Paz to the city of San Juan in the amount of $12,500.
Yes, sir. This year, we raised $12,500 in sponsorships for our Noche de Paz event, and we went ahead and put the list of the sponsors there and the amount that they went ahead and donated. And so just in the spirit of transparency here, these sponsorships were for Noche de Paz, so by having it on the agenda now, we formally can transfer those funds over to the city for Noche de Paz purposes. So that's what this.
Again.
By saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Is there some discussion real quick? I got a question, Mr. President. I don't see the rest of the luxury dealerships here on this list besides Lexus. Were they approached?
Yes, sir, they were. The part of it, I think, is that we didn't approach them early enough this past round, and weren't able to build the relationship with the new Mercedes-Benz general manager. I know in the past, Mr. Al Cavazos was always very helpful, and so now with the new general manager, it's just about creating that relationship and letting him know that, the EDC's been a big part of their success in the past, and so,
Cavazos is no longer the general manager?
no,
Or
sir.
No, I didn't know that, okay. Yeah, because what happened to I think they had like a Christmas luncheon, Thanksgiving luncheon, so none of that this year. Okay, so let's
Further
keep them in
discussion
mind.
on the matter?
I'm sorry?
Any further discussion
No.
on the matter? If not, we got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I did notice that Ms. Laura Rodriguez just walked in the door, and we had you on the agenda. Are you prepared to do your presentation, Ms. Rodriguez, for us?
We got together with the Basilica.
Since you were on the agenda, might as well hear you out.
We got together with the Basilica last week because get together with the commission and the mayor and everybody so that we can start a relationship with them and we can have like an event of Dia de los Muertos, where that would be like a concert, food, artesanos, to bring some people in, like tourism, like everything that we can take advantage of them. So we're working on having like a breakfast kind of lunch, dinner, something, so that we can start a
Did
relationship.
they like the idea? Did they express?
Oh, yeah, they were very excited. Yeah,
Had the event before. Dia de
Titled
los
that,
Muertos,
Dia
Dia de los Muertos.
Together with.
yeah,
the
I think they've had it for years, I believe,
Yeah.
and we just want to make it a little bigger, maybe something we can take advantage of.
Yes. Ms. Gutierrez, you said we've had this before?
We didn't have it this past year, right?
No, we didn't have it this past year, but the previous ones,
If I may, Mayor, Commissioners, board members, yes, this past year, there was participation from the city, with Basilica, and the artisans that came from Querétaro,
Oaxaca, I believe. Oaxaca.
But it was very minimal as far as the participation that took place between the city with the Basilica. So what she approached the Basilica, and it's more like a bigger event type of thing. It's celebrating Dia de los Muertos in the sense that there's gonna be what she's proposing is a parade with the Catrinas and the Catrines, and have some, just like something similar to what we have on the Noche de Paz, or what we have at the 4th of July events, but it'll be something similar to that. Now, why are we getting together with the Basilica is so that the EDC and the city can come together and work with the Basilica to make this event possible. Whether it's going to be done or not, that'll be totally up to the board here and the commission at the city level. But this is something that we want to, we've been talking about this, but we want to make it into a bigger event, something that'll sound the name of San Juan with Dia de los Muertos. The artisans did come over to the library, and they did some what they call tapetes de arena, which is it's some art with sand, and they also did it at the Basilica. 2 years ago, they did a little bit bigger, but it was not big enough. It was mainly working with the school district, where some students went over to the sidewalks and they did some Dia de los Muertos type of drawings there. But this year, what intention is work together with the Basilica in a bigger scale and make it a bigger event.
Say this year, if I may, you're referring to November.
Coming November, yes.
This
sir.
coming November.
Okay, so you guys are starting planning.
Right, I've been researching. We could, like, they're called los altares, where you put like what they like, the person that passed away. So they have them in a museum in Mission, to where they put, they select 10, 15 people. And then, so we're looking at all those little things, little details, but to make it bigger, like with a concert, music.
I think the important part here, recall any city within the valley
No.
having this besides San Antonio, which is obviously north from us.
Right, it's
Similar to what San Antonio holds?
something like to make it something big, like with the Catrinas, a parade, artesanos from different, parts of Mexico that are actually doing the work in front of you. And then we can have like Winter Texans come in and, different people from parts of the valley.
Are we talking about church grounds or
we just got together with them last week, so it's in the process.
Great idea.
Just a quick question. I remember discussing this a few months ago, and you guys had concerns about having anything that overlapped or was going to take shine away from Noche de Paz. So I think this is a great idea. This is something that I would love to see. But I remember that you guys had concerns about that, about having a parade. And so this is a great idea. I think it's a great way to promote culture and great way for the community to come over and, come together. And, but I wonder if those concerns are still out there.
No concerns here. I love the
Never.
idea, Miss.
This is the first time I hear about it.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Noche de Paz in
so-
December, we have more than a month, almost 2
Just
months.
wanted to put it out there.
This is all very preliminary still. It was just brainstorming here, and part of it was to, get with, Laura wanted to get with you all schedules and see when we can have that preliminary meeting with the Basilica, just to, and, Noche de Paz or whatever, just to start talking with the Basilica more and build that relationship with them and making sure that we're on the same page and we don't overlap with what they're trying to do, so.
Next meeting, Ms. Laura, with them. Do you,
We can meet, we were scheduled to meet, first to see if you all are available. It could have been, it can be this coming week or the following week. It would be like, maybe after 5. So, just to get together with them and with everyone here, just so that we can, I guess, build that relationship and then just talk about, what we can do for that event.
Ms. Rodriguez, I recall at one time when El Día de Mi started, the city was involved. I forget the priest, Eduardo, I think his name was at that time. But when that was started, the city was very much involved. I don't know how much the city's involved this year or lately, but this is a great follow-up to that event. Welcome the migrants in. I think it's in October. It's still in October. Following month, have a great celebration. I like that. Noche de Paz. Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, Día de los
Yeah.
Muertos.
Good deal.
Good idea. Anything else you'd like to add?
That's it.
Thank you very
Thank
much for your
you.
time. Appreciate it. And we'll continue on with our action items. We're on 7C. It's discussion, consideration, possible action, if any, to approve amount to pay for Noche de Paz event promotional expenses.
What was that?
We don't have the dollar amount listed here.
Oh,
We already did B, Mayor. We're now on C.
see, okay.
What is that amount?
Yes, sir. Well,
An invoice.
40, pero
I put in there,
Is that
the
included
way
in
it's worded is
500?
to approve the amount.
To approve amount to pay.
Right.
What is the
Agenda
amount?
should have the
The
amount.
amount, I would-
Yeah,
Well-
the item needs to, just like item B.
The dollar amount.
Right.
Like you put it on B,
And-
but you didn't put it on
And
C.
we could do that, but we budgeted $40,000 for city events. And so the idea of this was for the board to decide, to determine how much we wanted to give to the. That's why, yeah, it says to determine the amount. Now,
But wasn't that already determined during our budget?
well, it can be, if you guys want to give the 40, that's fine. We can go with 40.
I want to interact here, if I may. There's always going to be the disagreement that $10,000 are still up for the fireworks.
And I have a
This-
question.
Gutierrez, that's
Yeah,
the concern. It wasn't the fiestas, it was the money.
No, I remember exactly. I have great memory. It was concerns about a parade and Noche de Paz, but on this one,
This one is, the 40,000 was actually for the Noche de Paz. It was no city events that we're going to get 10 here, 10 there. 40,000 were actually going for Noche de Paz.
does that include the 12,500? No,
That
that's
was
separate.
separate.
Okay.
And now, one of the things, and I included it here, as far as the invoice from the city for 40,000, last year, or when we got our audit, how do you call it? Our audit review. When we got our audit review from last year, they're actually, I guess, kind of, and it's in here, it's right after the invoice. They're asking about that amount that we gave to Noche de Paz last year. It was for 40,000. And so they're asking why, and for that reason, I requested from the city a detailed invoice. So,
Zambrano, I'm being asked whether it would be okay for us to take action without listing the amount?
Yeah,
Just as
I-
long as the motion included the amount, I'm
Right,
assuming?
it's not legally required, and, Mr. Villarreal and I talked about it. I think the issue here was that we are getting the 12.5 contributions from the sponsorships, and so now you have the additional $40,000.
Why we left it like that?
So the board, if the board wants to go 60, you can go 60? Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
80.
yes, sir, my only thing with that,
Is that why the dollar amount was not listed on the item? On the agenda?
No, I think just to, again, I think just to, for the board, Mr. Villarreal and I did discuss this, and because there was the 12.5 that was coming in by way of contributions, I think the option here is that the entire 40,000 could go to the city, if that's what the board decides to do, or you could do less. But that's gonna be up to the board. And the dollar amount is not required to be on there.
Coming year's event, not for this past year, right?
Past event.
pass.
That's the one that we
The
just
one that
had.
just passed?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, it doesn't
Yes.
say 2018 either. so.
Well, for that reason,
There's an itemized.
Well, that does come at least a concern to me. Don't we budget for the following year? We don't budget for previous years, don't we? How does that, am I wrong, Mr. President, or what am I thinking?
I was under.
we could have taken action on this since October 1st, when our budget was finalized. Since then, we could take action on that, so.
With that said, if we're contributing 40,000 or whatever dollar amount this board votes on, then this coming year's event, I'm assuming we're gonna be approached for assistance again, but we won't be able to take action until next year's budget?
October 1st.
Oh, because it's in October and this
right.
event takes place in
In December.
So it would fall within
Fiscal year.
within the year.
Well, my concern on this is, did we budget or I know we budgeted 40,000 for Noche de Paz. That was my take. That's what I understood. Now, the 12.5, is that additional monies, Mr. Hola, if I recall? So basically, it's 40,000 plus the additional 12,000, which should be a total of 52. was it?
52, that was my
52,000?
question too, or is it going to be deducted out of the 40,000?
No.
Okay,
No, we
so
have
it's
to add it.
52,000 that,
And, those 12,500, that's,
Less than 12.
that's a sponsorship.
I mean,
Right. So now, but,
Now we're approving.
right,
if we
total
go
different
this route.
transactions, right? Okay.
Mr. President,
Just
I
to make
got
it
one more
sure.
question. Am I reading that correctly up there? 18, 19 contribution, not 17, 18, right?
The
That's-
fiscal year.
That, I provided last year's, I think we're showing last year's up there, because I provided last year's in the packet in case the board asked how much we provided last year. And that's the invoice from last year, and on our audit review that we just got in, they kind of cited us for that. They're asking what the money exactly was for. So, an itemization, being that it's our promotional budget,
This is atomized, right?
no, what they want.
that's
is,
from
for
the auditor,
example,
that's from the auditor,
40,000, what did you spend the money on, and et cetera.
right?
So itemize each check.
I would like for the city to do a itemized invoice for promotional things such as like carnival, things that would attract people, carnival that was there, the band, and other promotional things, so it can be broken down, so that way our auditor doesn't hit us again as to why we're giving the 40,000. Because in a sense, it's kind of like, what's that money going for? It's not broken down.
So even if we were to approve, you still have to
If
provide them.
if we approve with this invoice, we'll still be, we'll be hit again next year on the audit, and they'll be wanting to know what, you know, Noche de Paz, but what was that, you know? I was just requesting an itemized thing that says, you know, carnival, 10,000, band, 50,000, and we just take it from there.
And I think for
You know what,
transparency
honestly-
purposes, it's better if we vote once we have that itemization. Because then we know exactly what the 40,000, you know, we're used.
I mean, I was gonna say, you can do that, and as a matter of fact, it was sent over to them, but I said, you know what, that this is not necessary. Only because when it's a contribution coming from the city, I mean, from the EDC to the city, and I don't know what the auditors ask, if they ask for detailed information, I was not aware of that.
Right,
However,
that's what they're asking on
That's,
this letter.
this is the email.
if that is to be the case, I don't want to put a dollar amount next to the bands or to the carnival, but I could just probably list all of the things that took place during the Noche de Paz. But as far as putting a dollar amount, it'll be kind of hard, because if we say 23,000 for the carnival, then am I going to put the rest of it on something else that might not be really the amount? You know what I'm saying? So I can list all the items that took place during the event, but not necessarily itemize it on a dollar figure.
But that's what they're asking for in the email, an itemization.
I mean, if it's an email that was sent by the auditors that they want a detailed,
It-
itemized
It was just sent, it was just sent.
today
It was just sent on the 10th
of this month,
of this month. It was just sent.
this will be the first that I will see it.
Right, yeah, it was just sent.
So with that said, would it be okay for you to provide us an itemization to add up to the 40,000, just so that we could all be transparent and be able to cut that check to you all and audit, no audit findings and?
We can do that. The only thing is, today's a meeting. If I would have known this on the
Right.
10th, I mean, I would have provided that, but I was totally unaware of that, you know. So I'll ask that
The
maybe when you
motion
get
will
an email like
include
that.
the itemized
Send
list.
it.
No, I just got it. It was sent on the 10th, but I
Or
just got
we
it
just wait, put it another time.
If I hear, go ahead and approve it?
I make a motion, you wanna- hold on. I make a motion to approve with the conditions that we get the itemized statement to
Second.
Mr.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay?
With no dollar amount, right?
What was that?
You're gonna approve
With a
what?
$40,000 amount that is stated on the invoice, with the conditions that the invoices are forwarded to our director, so we can have it in our line items.
Second.
Got a motion and a second?
That include the
Further
12?
discussion?
Fine.
No, that's
That's a
already
different
approved,
item.
sir.
Okay.
Got a motion and a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is 7D, discussion, consideration, and possible action, if any, to approve resolution opposing current schematics configuration of the off and on ramps. I'm assuming this was something presented by TxDOT?
Yes, this is TxDOT's plans as they're redoing their roads.
On the item.
Excuse me? Oh, yes, yes. This was approved by the City of San Juan Commission, opposing this new ramp design from TxDOT. I went ahead and printed out the way it's going to look, and my concerns with it were that what they're going to do is an off-ramp with an on-ramp that goes above it, and that's going to cover the line of sight for our Basilica, as well as businesses on the other side, including Lexus dealership. And so I think an on-off rather than a over-under would be more, would be better for our local businesses. Also, the off-ramp for Cesar Chavez goes way towards Cesar Chavez, and they're not exiting for our Stewart thoroughfare. So if you exit, you won't be able to go through Stewart. You'll have to go all the way to Cesar Chavez. And so I would like to take the opportunity to maybe meet with them and see about this redesign. I don't know I know that they've already gone for RFQs on this, but we need to think about our Stewart thoroughfare and the future business that is potentially coming to that corner, and also those over-under ramps that are going to be a big eyesore for our Basilica and our other surrounding businesses. So I think there's a better way that they could have gone about this. I'd like to meet with them and talk to them and see if they can just move this here, move that there, and it
I
still be.
wonder if it's too late to be doing that. I mean,
Yes.
I don't, right? I
It
mean,
is
I
a little
don't
bit
know
late.
if-
Actually, the purpose of this is just a resolution of support so that they can come back and design. We met with Texas several times, several locations, and, you know,
They're not budging.
they're not budging.
Are we providing them with an alternate route that
Well,
we would
it is-
prefer
it
that would
is,
also work?
It's more like an as-built that they're gonna be working on. We don't have an engineer in-house that can actually design something and provide an alternate. We gave them recommendations as to what would work for the city of San Juan. Because one of the things, like Mr. Villarreal is saying, yeah, it's gonna take the visibility away from Lexus, and the exit from La Basilica is not gonna exit on Oakley, it's gonna exit further down. So a lot of this traffic is gonna be going over towards Nebraska, and that's gonna, you know, that's
I
gonna
mean,
cause some
I
traffic.
see the concern, and I
So-
understand, but I'm trying to come up with a solution rather than just opposing just for the sake of
Right.
opposing.
So when we met with the, in Austin a couple of weeks ago with our senators, they asked us to maybe submit a resolution, and they can present it.
With a proposed solution, alternate route. Remember when we met with them? Remember, and we had an engineer with us, a very capable one that
Yes, he was
used to
there.
work with TechStop himself, and I think he's the one that said, I could reconfigure this to it
Right.
could work. I think that's what we need to also consider simultaneously to, you know, adopting this resolution. I mean, this is
Agreed.
one step, but I don't think this is enough.
Right, so one of the things they're doing is they're reaching out already to see what is it that we have in mind. And that's the gentleman that we met with, and I forget the guy's name.
So could we include that in this?
And we definitely want to take action on this resolution opposing the current plan, I think.
And instruct the executive director to make sure it's on the agenda next meeting?
I
Solution
think that's
to
more of a
propose.
city thing, a city deal than the EDC.
Sounds good.
Wouldn't you agree, right?
It is.
Right, okay. So all in favor of supporting this resolution, or do we have a motion? We need a
I have a
motion.
motion.
Second.
I got a motion and a second in support of this resolution
I
opposing.
think it's support the resolution to oppose.
To oppose, yes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is 7E, discussion, consideration, and possible action, if any, to approve sign design for promoting EDC projects.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're here at our last item on our open session. The project Square, as we call it, which has been on our agenda in the past, and also some other projects that we're going to be doing here in the near future. That gentleman has offered to pay for a sign for us. And I just wanted to have here a design, which you guys can go ahead and nitpick at or change if you'd like. But what I see in the other cities doing is when this EDC does a successful project, they go ahead and put out there and promote the EDC and say, this is something that we all did together as a team. And so I think if we see a couple of these signs unified throughout the city, it shows that the city, you know, we're working here and we're all doing our part to help bring business to the city. So this is just a proposed thing that I came up with. If you don't like it or you don't like the color or something like that, you're more than welcome to give your 2 cents, and we can come up with something that you know, one, if you all want to go ahead and do this, and two, if you like this or want to change it, we can change it up.
Comments on the sign that's been submitted there, the design? If not, I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and approve. I've got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item is 8, executive session. In accordance with Chapter 551 Texas Government Code and Vernon's Texas Code annotated, the San Juan Economic Development Corporation Board will meet in executive session to discuss the items listed in the public portion of the meeting agenda in accordance with the following below. It is 6:14, and we are now going to executive session. It is now 9 PM, and we are reconvening our San Juan Economic Development Corporation meeting. We have now out of executive session and back into our meeting. We'll go back to item 8A, B, C, D, and E. As discussed in executive session, there will be no action taken on those items. Item 8F will be tabled for decision on the next meeting. And item G is also no action. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
Okay, got a motion and a
Second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now adjourned.